It was perhaps from this point when the kids really lost Otto as a true sympathetic element, like Duffman being a daddy, Brandine being a smarty, and hell, Wiggum's wife being a baddie. But the fact that he can speak to kids as his equals earned him the respect and admiration that most teachers. The bus was filled with mannequins and not real children.
Maybe it was wrong of us to let you think you killed.
But then, I think that says it all. I mean, I guess there was this iconic moment. He'd give an F. And yes, he loves heavy metal music, but I always felt like he'd put the kids before. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you why. So let's head to the bus driver and find out where it all is. Sometime before the Simpsons' first season, Otto was instructed to drive a bus across an ice bridge. Oh, that poor old Otto has been left behind and relegated to the D-tier category with Cookie, Quan and Disco. But it's brief scenes when we see him teaching snowboarding, which serve as a reminder to his untapped potential, like Nelson, Dolph, Jimbo and Kearney, aka the underachievers. Listed as in favour of heavy metal music, but again, way back in season 11, and he was gone by the 8th part. And over the first few seasons, Bart would come to Otto for advice, like when he feared he'd be held back a grade. So, I'm going to ask you a question. When did you last see Otto in The Simpsons? And if you can't quite remember, he obviously still ran in the same circles. He's a rare case where he could have been one of those adult characters who went wrong for Otto.
Hail to the bus driver. Bus driver.
Your own underwear, mister. You are suspended without pay.
And even though Otto was evicted from his apartment and failed his
Come with me. You can stay in our garage.
And yes, he lounged around the Simpsons house and wasn't the most hygienic guest. Life as his big pranking playground, then this was quite a big deal. It marked a very... This is just another case where Otto's contributions were completely ignored. Much like his various, only to emerge as the sole survivor when the bus sank into the river. Except no one told Otto that for failing a test, he turned to Otto, who reassured him that everything will be alright.
I got held back.
Dreamt about winning a safety award.
It's like a dream come true.
Otto's big brother approach could have made
24 children.
Thus lending him a tragic backstory, leaving little wonder to why he was so never forget.
I was that maniac.
Buying weed that had an element of danger and excitement.
Everything smells like a damp swimsuit. I was an adult before.
And his driving didn't exactly improve, but his dislike for Homer gave him that.
I'm home.
This could have been a great opportunity for Otto to make a big impact, but again, his machine inadvertently secured their victory.
Yes!
So Otto calling up Snake to go to a party at the Simpsons house, and then they rocked out together at a Spinal Tap. He kickstarted their winning streak, and even after being shunned in favour of Mr. Burns, his dedication to a claw. He's 14.
Not till you're 14, my little friend.
It was in this brief scene so endearing, and let's face it, different from the other characters. But sadly, there's only so far character.
And Otto is Otto backwards.
Now I'm scared.
At all. He's an empathetic, sympathetic, big brother, chilled out dude who just couldn't read. He's also always there to lend an ear to Bart when he needs to work through a problem, like when Milhouse didn't
Throw stuff at cars and try to tip the bus on sharp turns.
And in the world of Bart Simpson, who sees the adults in his life, rare relationship in the little Hellraiser's life. And even though Otto's recklessness makes him far from the great you can take with this character trope, and it's kind of limiting for his storylines and has definitely held him back because it's become something I definitely could never see the earlier season Otto doing. It's just not his character. Stop caring about Otto. The most recent Otto-centric episode was season 22's 500 Key, where we learned everything we needed to know about Otto, and immediately established his close relationship with Bart. Hard to say. Even when a legal cannabis shop opened in Springfield, Otto still preferred the scuzzy old days of... Unfortunately, this was one of the very rare times where Otto showed genuine motivation, and he liked to read. And if it weren't for Otto, then the Pin Pals would never have their trophy. Could have played an essential role in Bart's life. Otto Mann first appeared in the 3rd episode of The Simpsons and showed a real businessman-like spirit when he repurposed the school bus for his Springfield death tour. It's honestly a driving test before it even began. Bart still believed in his friend.
Otto, why don't you come
His job. His relationship with Bart specifically was developed even more when he provided Otto with a place to stay, as he pitched a comic book about a vampire slaying bus driver, which honestly is something I'd totally...
Hey, I was just kidding.
But it took Bart acknowledging him as an adult for Otto to finally realise that he needed... This again showed how Otto bridged the gap between the irresponsible and the responsible character. As being the school bus driver, he still tried his hand at various enterprises over the years, some of them random, but it was when I was researching for my Snake Jailbird video that I realised what a consistent friendship he had with Otto, his big brother confidant. His untapped talent. Although Otto's principal role in the show needed to get his act together.
You're the coolest adult I ever met.
Wow, I've never been called.
Lost his mojo. But the thing that really marked as a turning point specifically for him and Bart's relationship was...
I'm gonna leap over Springfield Gorge on my skateboard.
Cool!
Stu. I have to say that at one point I honestly thought that Otto could have been one of the top secondary characters. An underachiever himself by self-admission and Simpsons wiki, we saw a more dimensional Otto back in the earliest... You know, this. The burnout. Otto's shameless love for drugs is part of what makes him and acted as the responsible adult who told Bart absolutely no skull tattoos. Until his role model for him, at least Bart can comfortably come to him to share his most gnarly ideas. This could only hope to achieve. This is because he showed a candid relatability that resonated with the like. It's never too late, it's The Simpsons after all. It's gonna keep going. Maybe there's some hope for Otto. Millhouse and a grapefruit caused the bus to crash into the ocean. Otto was still determined to save them. Only to hear that Bart tells Otto that he respects him.
Otto, you know I respect you. I mean, you always let us...
Again, bridging that gap between their home lives and their school lives, and the school bus could have been their safe place. That their kids could really relate to. He was laid back, a bit reckless, and had a lot of fun outside of when it comes to mentoring Springfield's youth. But it's true, somewhere along the way, Otto some that could have actually had legs to genuinely develop his character. In one of his earliest appearances, invite him to his birthday party, so Otto taught him that time heals all wounds.
You know what's my old...
So disheartening that he became exclusively reserved for the stoner gags that limit him into being such a one-joke. How The Simpsons has misused his potential.
And we can go back for the kids, too.
Relying on drugs. However, this story doesn't quite coincide with his earlier characterization. He spanked him.
Can't talk now, I'm spanking a child.
This is some
Windows. I don't think I can afford this place.
But that was way back in season 8. Minute. So why at a time when most of the other secondary characters are getting their big moments and develop writers to deepen him just didn't go deep enough? So, will Otto ever recover? It's
Man.
his lost relationship with Bart. Yep, I believe there was a time when Otto...
The 4th grade myself. Twice. Look at me, man.
It's also very important to note, but he did rock out with Bart and was only too happy to tell a bedtime story to Lisa that she will never end. With each season, it's getting harder and harder to believe that Otto will have an increased presence in the show. Still, his role was merely there to support another one of the other characters' schemes. In this case, home 26 years ago. And yes, there was that time where he almost got married to a lady called Becky but then ditched her. Otto showed no concern for his reckless driving throughout much of the show. So I must say that this attempt by the because at the end of the day, despite his dangerous driving, he does still care about the kids. When his one and only defining trait. It seems that somewhere along the lines, the writers just simply need to be swept away in the current. And yes, while this was a joke playing at Otto's expense, it also highlighted it was only because Bart looked up to him. Deep down, he does actually care what people think of him. Like when he made him a fantastic school counselor, or at least someone who they could consistently come to with their troubles. Very special edge at the DMV.
Homer had a piece of food in his face for 3 days.
Of Bart, but I also feel that this could have been pushed into making some other great stories with other kids, like seasons. And this dimension linked into his relationships with other characters, not just kids. At concert before starting a riot when the band walked off stage.
Want to trash the stage?
Really, they've left him all but forgotten if not for his far-out psychedelic episode and the Poolmobile.
Whoa, I gotta replace that window.
And he even showed It's Otto's laid-back attitude that makes most of the other people in his life view him as a useless burnout, say when he was fired for crashing the school bus and driving without a license.
Until you get a license and wear your...
Lady ran off and married my brother. It hurt, but here it is a month later, and I'm sleeping under a couch.
The dropouts, and those with jobs. And even though he's by no means as dangerous as Snake, when the boy ruined his one chance to prove himself as a true fan of Metallica. But what did Otto do? Services to the community. He was part of the volunteer fire department, drove the Seniorville trolley,